In this video, I'm going to walk you through the process that I use for creating these double-coiled structures as quickly and efficiently as possible using a power drill. For this project, I've cut 2 feet of 28 gauge round, 6 inches of 26 gauge round, and 6 inches of 21 gauge square. I'm going to start the coil by placing my 28 gauge on top of my 26 and bringing it around underneath and over the top of the wire. I only need to do this about 5 times or so just to give myself enough coil to feed into the chuck of my drill. To connect this to my drill, I'm going to feed my 26 gauge straight down and clamp my 28 gauge in between 2 of the jaws of my drill. Since I started my coil with the wire coming up over the top, I want to make sure that my drill is in reverse so that it will actually coil the wire the direction we need it to go. Once I've checked all the settings and I'm ready to go, I can pinch firmly with my thumb and forefinger with the wire and very gently apply the pressure with my thumb on the other hand. I find it easier for me to make sure I have a consistent coil if the wire is spinning away from me, so I can just feed it gently into place with my thumb and forefinger. I apply even pressure throughout the entire coil as I'm going, just to make sure that it stays in place. If I notice that it has jumped and starts to coil back on itself, I immediately want to stop and go ahead and uncoil those sections so that I can start again from there. Now that we have this coiled section, I can go ahead and cut my wire ending short or coil the rest of it around my 26 and start the coil around my square. I like to use square or half round for the center of these coils because that shaped wire gives me something to grip with my 26 gauge. Wrapping the end around it, I can pinch it flat to the sides of the square, so this wire won't spin as I'm trying to coil it around my square. If I use round for the center point, I have to hold that ending and try to keep the tension as I'm coiling. Using square or half round eliminates me having to hold that. From here, I can either feed it back into my drill again, or I can coil it by hand. For the sake of this project, we'll go ahead and feed it into the drill one more time. Before feeding our square into the drill, I went ahead and put a 90-degree angle so that I have something to pinch with the jaws of my drill. From here, I'm going to go ahead and apply that even pressure with my thumb and forefinger. And begin coiling as we go. away from me a little bit at the end there. But you can see I have a nice even coil through here, and I can go ahead and touch this part up by hand. To finish my coil, I'm just going to pinch it with my pliers, and then I can go ahead and straighten out my square wire. I often find this step to be a little tedious with the drill, and usually would prefer to do it by hand. And here we have our coil. It's about 1 inch from end to end and ready to connect to our piece. As an added bonus, I always like to attach a little bit more 28 gauge in between the cracks of that coil. It helps just give it a little bit more of a solid structure. To do so, I've gone ahead and I've wrapped 28 gauge around my end here, and I'm just going to twist my coil, feeding my wire in between each section of coiled wire. You could do this in the drill as well, but again, I find this a little bit tedious with the drill. It's just as easy to apply even pressure with my thumb and forefinger and twist it by hand. Once I've reached the end, I can go ahead and cut it short and flatten it in place. When using these coiled structures in my pieces, I generally keep it to 1 inch or shorter. If I want the effect of a long coil going through my pieces, I'll usually break it into smaller segments. Like this piece, for example, looks like I have a double coil that comes through my frame here and around out the other side. This and this are just 2 separate segments of coil. Every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Central Time, I do an exclusive live stream for my Patreon supporters. This is more of an open format class where you can ask any questions and get live answers as I'm working. This was the piece that I live streamed for my Patreon supporters. If you'd like to see the whole start to finish process of this piece, check out the link below to my Patreon. These coiled structures are a great way to add an interesting texture and fill in some space in your pieces. A special thank you goes out to all of those names on your screen for supporting this channel through Patreon. What I am doing here would not be possible without your support. If you're interested in helping support the channel, follow the link in the description of this video. If you found this video helpful, leave me a like on the video. This helps me out a lot with the visibility of my videos in YouTube's algorithms. To be the first to know when I upload new content, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when new videos are available. Thank you for watching, and happy wrapping.